It's November. It is starting to get cold, and it's still kind of exciting that it's getting cold. It's not like the doldrums of March where it's like, oh, let's get warm again. And normally that means that I get lots of reading done. So let's talk about what I want to read in November 2025. All right, everybody, as I said in my October wrap-up, I did not have a great reading month in October, and I'm hoping that November will be better, but I think it will be kind of rough for a couple of reasons. First, I am traveling for a large portion of this month. I'm going to Japan for the first couple of weeks in November, and yes, I know what you're thinking. I know another booktuber who lives in Japan who likes Malazan. You should hang out with David from Four Corners of the Page. I got good news for you. We are going to hang out. I'm very excited. I don't know if we'll record a video or whatever. Maybe we'll do a YouTube short, but that'll be fun. But mostly I'm going to be sightseeing. So travel can kind of go one of two ways. One, I get a lot of reading done because I have a lot of time in transportation. Two, you get almost no time done because you're doing other stuff, or not very much reading done because you're doing other stuff with your time. I think probably because I've never been to Japan, there'll be a lot to see, a lot to look at. I think it's probably going to be that second one. So I think this is a pretty... Even what I have here is pretty ambitious for what may actually happen in November. I'm also traveling for Thanksgiving to see family. And then the first week of December, I'm traveling again. So this is going to be iffy. But, let's just keep with the tradition of setting a TBR and we'll see where it goes from there. The one book I will 100% be finishing, and in fact, I'm hopeful that I will finish before I leave for Japan, but we'll see, a couple more days, is No Life Forsaken, the new Steven Erikson. I'm so excited for this. As you can see, I've already started. I'm about 70 pages in. It's phenomenal already. Just like The God Is Not Willing, it's like this really good distillation of Malazan themes and writing. Again, this is less than 500 pages, and it slaps. It's great. Erikson, I think, is really, again, distilling a lot of his theme and writing for this particular series that I'm really excited about. In the same way, honestly, that I'm excited about him not distilling or filtering in Carcanus. I just like the different ways that this guy can write. The other book that I will most definitely be reading is the third book in the Chronicles of Narnia, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. In my memory, this is my second favorite of the whole series. Some of the most creative scenes and aspects of the plot happen here, and one of the most fun changes of character in the character of Eustace, the most fun way that they get into Chronicles of Narnia. After kind of the doldrums of Prince Caspian, in my view, I'm really excited to get to the Dawn Treader. I think it'll be really, really great. So I'm excited to read that. If I have more time, some of the other books that I will be pursuing, I want to finish The Silence of the Girls, which has Briseis as the lead in sort of a retelling of certain parts of the Iliad. I'm about, 50 pages in, and I really enjoy this. A couple people told me this is better than Madeline Miller's sort of two retellings, Circe and Song of Achilles. I don't think that's true, but it is very, very interesting, and this is a fantastic cover that I really, really like. So I'll be reading this Pat Barker book and finishing it in November as well. I'll also be continuing my President's read-through with a biography of Van Buren, Martin Van Buren. It'll be very interesting. This is The Making of the American Political System by Donald B. Cole. This is going to be a more academic work, and I'm interested to see because Van Buren is quite an interesting character. That might be a little dry read, but I'm hoping not. I'm also reading Mr. Jefferson's Hammer, which is a biography of William Henry Harrison, which, of course, who was president very little because he became president and then got sick and died of pneumonia. But very interesting frontiersman and continued as an original Virginian dynasty president. I don't know. I'll have more to say about that. That's a shorter book, but William Henry Harrison normally is skipped over pretty quickly to get to John Tyler, but I'm going to be interested in learning more about him in that book. Then in Japan, what I am also going to read, and I'm pretty excited while also being apprehensive about this, is I am going to try to read as much as I can of the Adan trilogy by Philip Chase, a fellow booktuber. I have been apprehensive to read this series because I like Philip so much, and I know Philip. We've gotten to interact several times, not in person, but on BookTube, and I'm a big fan of his, and so it's always a little nerve-wracking to read someone's work with the potential that I might not like it, that I might have some serious criticisms of it, or even, honestly, for me, there's, just to be honest with you, I a little nerves that maybe I'll love it, and I'll rave about it, and everyone will just be like, oh, that's because he knows Philip Chase, So it's I don't know, it feels difficult to be a critic in this space. But at the same time, I was realizing like that's not fair to Philip and to the BookTube community, assuming sort of that they would take criticisms in bad ways or even praises in good ways. And I want to respect Philip as a artist as well as a booktuber. So I'm going to pick it up. There was a deal on the ebook versions a little while ago, and I'm just bringing my Kindle on the trip to Japan. So this will be a great chance to read that book, and I am going to do it. And so I'm excited about that. I know I'm late to this train. This trilogy coming out happened when I was away from BookTube, so this is also me catching up. Maybe I'll have a chance to talk to Philip about it, maybe not. We'll see. But I am putting that on my TBR, and I'm, again, excited and apprehensive about it. As far as my to be watched, I mean, November's going to be a big month for me for some big films coming out. I'm excited to see Hamnet. Just read that book, and it is going to be released later. Wicked Part 2, I think, is in November coming out. So there'll be some good stuff to watch there. But as I said, most of the month I'm going to be traveling, so I won't have a ton of things to watch. And that's it. I wanted to be real quick about like books I want to read in November and things I want to watch. But honestly, for the most part, I'm traveling. I'm excited. So if you have recommendations for places I should go in Tokyo while I'm there, put that in the chat. Or if you want to talk about my books like we always do in the chat, of course, I would love to do that. Please no spoilers on the Way of Adan books or the Adan trilogy. But otherwise, let's talk in the comments. First in, last out.